So the Shang-Chi reviews are in and they are looking pretty positive, but at the same time, Disney and Kevin Feige are showing zero confidence in this film. They're actually showing a lot of signs of being very worried about how this film is going to do at the box office. If we go by the reviews, yes, the movie might be very good, but I don't think that the good reviews, I don't think that the positive fan perception will be enough to make this movie a true success. And it looks like Kevin Feige, the Disney CEO, and just the higher ups at Disney feel the same way about the film. Let's check it out. If you enjoy Marvel, Star Wars, just pop culture news in general, then please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Let's get into the video. So yeah, like I said, the Shang-Chi reviews are very good. They're very solid. It's undeniable how good these reviews are. A lot of the time, whenever these people see these movies early, of course they give them good reviews because they want to see more movies early. They don't want to go see a movie early that's a Marvel movie and then trash on the Marvel movie because they're not going to be able to be invited back next time. It is what it is. But a lot of people out there do give good, honest reviews, for sure. And whenever a group of reviews come out and they're this overwhelmingly positive about the film, they're all saying kind of the same things about the movie, you could say that that's kind of leaning into the fake factor, or maybe the movie is just really good, and in those aspects that they're talking about, the movie is really good. Who knows? We'll have to wait and see. But these reviews are good, they're very, very good, and it's kind of reassuring for me that they're so positive that maybe this movie will actually be pretty good. But it looks like Feige, Chapek, all these higher ups at Disney, all these higher ups at Marvel, they're not having too much faith in it. And Kevin Feige looks like he's doing damage control already. Let's check out this article real quick from Cinema Blend that says Kevin Feige responds after Simu Liu calls out Disney head honcho for our experiment comments. And if you don't know, Bob Chapek a couple of days ago, maybe 3-4 days ago at this point, came out and said that Shang-Chi being released in theaters for 45 days instead of the normal 90-day run that they usually go through is apparently an experiment. Now, in my opinion, it's not that much of an experiment. I understand what he's trying to say. I understand that the 45-day release is not the normal 90-day release or around 90-day release that they normally do for movies like this, but it's not much of an experiment. It's just a normal theater release cut in half, and now they're calling it an experiment to kind of hedge their bets a little bit, to say that if this movie does end up failing at the box office, well, it's just because it was an experiment. And he also called it a data point. He's just saying that they're putting Shang-Chi out there to see what it will do at the box office if they just release it in theaters, which I do think is part of it, but I think that this is kind of more of an act of desperation to make some money off the film instead of just seeing what it will do as an experiment and as a data point. That's just my personal opinion. And Simu Liu, if you don't remember, took offense to that. I covered that in a couple videos in a row, where Simu Liu, who is the lead actor for Shang-Chi, he is playing Shang-Chi, came out and took offense to that comment and said we are not an experiment, all this other stuff. He really got mad at Bob Chapek. But now Kevin Feige is coming out and doing damage control because they need all the positive press for this movie. They need everything they can get to make this movie a success. And Kevin Feige knows this. Bob Chapek knows this. Simu Liu, though, seems like he's just an open guy. He's very human, as Kevin Feige says. He is not a shy man. This is a direct quote from Kevin Feige about the situation. He is not a shy man. I think in that particular tweet you can see, and I think everyone does, a misunderstanding. It was not the intention. The proof is in the movie, and we swing for the fences as we always do. With the amount of creative energy we put in and the budget, there's no expense spared to bring this origin story to the big screen, or to the screen. I believe him. I believe that they didn't hold any punches. I believe that there's no expense spared with this movie, but that doesn't change the fact that it's just not going to be a success at the box office. It is what it is. It might make, dude, if it makes 600 million, I would honestly say that's a success. I think that's a huge success if it could break 600 or 700 million. That would be like a Marvel movie breaking 2 billion, in my opinion, back in the day. I think that 600, 700 million is kind of the new ceiling for Marvel movies as of now. Now, if this Shang-Chi movie comes out and truly does blow everyone's minds, if it really does do everything that these reviews are saying, and it's one of the best comic book, not even just MCU or Marvel movies, they're saying it's one of the best comic book movies of all time. Like I said, you can't really trust these guys because they want the early access going forward. But think back to the Black Widow reviews, they weren't that positive. Now, that movie was not a good movie, in my opinion, and they've never really said anything bad. They will never say anything bad about these movies because they want the early access in the future. But when it came to the Black Widow reviews, they kind of just said that this movie is average, but you should go see it because it has big implications for the future of the MCU. Go see Black Widow because of the post-credit scene. That thing that Marvel always does, where even if it's a bad movie, even if the movie is not that enjoyable for critics or for the audience, even actually the audience score had a higher score for Black Widow than the critics even did, but even if it's not an enjoyable or good movie, Marvel will always get you with that post-credit scene. They'll always say, well, the post-credit scene has huge implications for the future of the MCU. Even if you think back to Endgame, whenever they re-released Endgame so that it could pass up Avatar, and they re-released it with an extra post-credit scene, which was just a very bad, unfinished scene of the Hulk, which horrible CGI, horrible scene in general. It doesn't even matter about the CGI. If you don't remember what I'm talking about, it's the ding ding scene. I remember I went back in theaters and saw it just for that post-credit scene. Total waste of money. I regret doing that 100%. But this Kevin Feige stuff, it's definitely some kind of damage control. It's definitely Kevin Feige realizing that there's a lot of bad press around this movie, and they don't need any more. You don't need Simu Liu, who's the lead actor of this movie, beefing with the CEO of Disney. That's just a bad look. So Feige's coming out and saying it's all a misunderstanding, which it very well may be, but it doesn't change the fact that Simu Liu definitely took offense to Bob Chapek's comments. There's no question about it. Now, I don't think that's going to hurt the box office numbers for this movie. I just don't think that this movie is going to do that well. And when I say that, all of you people that's going to yell at me in the comments, calm your little angry ass down. When I say that it's not going to be a success, I mean that the movie isn't going to make a crazy amount of money. It may make its money back, which in my opinion is kind of a big success because a lot of these movies, Suicide Squad, Black Widow, have not been making their money back. If you take into account the marketing and the delays of the movie, they haven't been making their money back. It is what it is. When I say a success, I mean a success from a studio standpoint. These studios aren't making these movies to make the fans happy. They're not making these movies to get good Rotten Tomato scores. That's not a success for them. Obviously, it's a plus. Obviously, they want to make a good quality movie that the fans enjoy, but what their main goal, what their main objective is with these movies is to have a good return on their investment. It's not to make the fans happy. It's not to get good Rotten Tomato scores. It's to make money. If it's not profitable, they won't continue to do it because they do not care about pleasing fans if they're not making a profit off of these movies. So when I say a success or failure, I mean purely financial. But we also have Kevin Feige coming out and saying that Marvel is open to an Eternals Disney Plus release. I think that this is probably going to happen because if you just look at the Eternals marketing, the Shang-Chi marketing is pretty non-existent. I think that it's ramping up a bit now ever since these really good reviews came out. They're dropping small TV spots, small trailers here and there, but the Eternals marketing is pretty non-existent, and every time I see Eternals marketing, it just doesn't even look like a Marvel movie to me. It looks interesting. I'll definitely check it out. It looks interesting, but it just doesn't even look like a Marvel movie to me. It looks weird. It looks off. Something about it just doesn't have that Marvel feel that we look for whatever reason. I can't put my finger on it. But Feige, real quick, he says, I think a theater would be my preference, and Eternal director Chloe Zhao's preference, Feige explained. We will see where we go with it. I love the movies. I love going to the movies, he continued. I love making movies for people to see in a shared environment in a theater together. To us, that's what it's about. The hybrid release can also be good if you want customers to have a choice. In this case, the choice is in theaters for 45 days. Here is what I know. There's an opening weekend and you can go see a movie. So they're very open already to an Eternals Disney Plus only release or maybe a hybrid release. I think that's probably best case scenario for Eternals. I don't think it'll do well in the theaters. I think just use it to boost the Disney Plus numbers because it's not going to do well regardless. Shang-Chi has a chance because of the great reviews, because it feels like a Marvel movie to me. It feels like a Marvel origin story. It kind of feels like Marvel's going back to their roots with this origin story type movie, so I think it does have a chance. But let me know what you guys think about Shang-Chi, all the early reviews being extremely good, and Kevin Feige doing some damage control when it comes to Shang-Chi, Simu Liu versus Bob Chapek beef, all that stuff. And what do you think about Eternals? Should they just release it on Disney Plus alone? Let me know what you think in the comments. If you did enjoy this video, please leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel. If you want to follow me on Twitter, the link to that will be in the description as well. Thank you for watching the video. Hope to see you in the next one.